Every tour pro you watch on Sunday is under contract. The ball they tee up has a logo somebody paid for. What they test on Monday, what they hit in practice rounds, what gets quietly slipped into the bag when sponsorship money is not the deciding factor. That is a different conversation. One the golf industry prefers you never hear. Here is what the verified data, the public quotes, and the documented switches actually tell you. Maxfli Tour X. Ben Griffin was a mortgage loan officer in North Carolina in 2021. He left professional golf, walked away from the tour, and spent time behind a desk. He came back, regained his PGA Tour card, and in 2024 made a decision his peers openly questioned. He switched to the Maxfli Tour X, a ball sold at Dick's Sporting Goods for $39.99 a dozen, a brand that had not won on the PGA Tour since Fred Funk used a wound Maxfli A10 to win the 2003 Southern Farm Bureau Classic. His tour peers did not hide their reaction. Griffin described it in Golf Digest. Other players were asking why he was doing this, telling him the ball is the most important piece of equipment in the bag, questioning whether he understood the risk. His response, in his own words, "Trust me, it is a calculated risk." In April 2025, Griffin won the Zurich Classic with partner Andrew Novak. In a detail that said more than any chart, Novak agreed to play Griffin's Maxfli Tour X during the foursomes format on Sunday. In alternate shot golf, you play one ball. Novak trusted the Maxfli over his own ball in the final round of a PGA Tour event. Griffin then won the Charles Schwab Challenge. Then, the Worldwide Technology Championship. 3 PGA Tour wins in one season with a ball from Dick's Sporting Goods. Lexi Thompson had been playing the Maxfli Tour on the LPGA Tour since the start of the 2024 season. Maxfli has won British Opens, Masters, and US Opens in its history. Greg Norman won the Open Championship at Royal St. George's in 1993 playing a Maxfli. The brand was not a budget option, it was the best ball in the game. Then Titleist happened. 2 decades of tour marketing buried the story, and the ball ended up in the bargain bin in your mind. The story is unburied. A $40 ball won on tour 3 times in 2025. The player who switched to it is now on the US Ryder Cup team. Snell MTB, the ball tour pros test but cannot play. Dean Snell holds 38 golf ball patents. He spent over 25 years at Titleist and TaylorMade. He invented or co-invented the Pro V1, the Professional, the Penta, and the Tour Preferred. He left and built one direct-to-consumer ball company with no tour sponsorship budget and no advertising spend. Multiple tour professionals have tested the Snell ball and concluded it equals, or betters, their sponsor ball. They cannot play it in competition. Contracts require them to play the sponsor's product. They play it in practice rounds. None will say this publicly while under contract. Dean Snell himself confirmed publicly that he refuses to pay tour players to bag his product. His stated position, the extra money tour players earn from ball sponsorship is your money. It is built into the retail price of every premium tour ball you buy. The gap between the Pro V1 price and the Snell MTB-X price is partly performance and partly a marketing investment that funds player sponsorship deals. You are paying for the logo on the tour player's bag every time you reach for the top shelf. Multiple confirmed sources across golf industry forums and review sites document tour professionals testing this ball during practice rounds and finding it competitive with their contracted product. The man who literally invented the ball, most of them are playing, is now selling you a comparable product at $34.99 a dozen. Vice Golf was founded in Germany in 2012 by 2 former professional golfers who identified the same gap Dean Snell identified. The margin between manufacturing cost and retail price on premium tour balls had become indefensible. They built a direct-to-consumer model, removed the retail markup, and produced a 3-piece cast urethane ball at $38.99 a dozen standard retail. The Vice Pro was quietly tested by multiple European Tour players in the years following its launch. players without ball sponsorship could access a genuinely competitive urethane product at a price that made switching economical. Golf WRX community posts from verified tour caddies in the from 2015 to 2018 period confirm Vice Pro testing during practice rounds at multiple European Tour events. Vice has never had a marquee tour win. The brand deliberately chose not to pursue tour sponsorship because the cost of placing a ball on tour would require raising retail prices to fund it. The product quality is not in question. The 2025 independent robot test placed the Vice Pro among the top performers at moderate swing speeds for price versus performance. The players who have tested it know what it does. The ones under contract cannot say so publicly. In 2016, Costco released the Kirkland Signature Golf Ball. The golf industry's response was to dismiss it, mock it, and then when independent testing proved the dismissal wrong, attempt to litigate it out of existence. Acushnet, Titleist parent company, filed legal action against Costco, claiming patent infringement. Costco discontinued that version. They came back with urethane cover versions that continued to outperform their price point in every independent test that followed. The 2025 MyGolf Spy test named the Kirkland Performance plus the Great Buy of the entire 62 ball field. In independent TrackMan testing at 35 yards, the Kirkland produced 8,043 revolutions per minute of wedge backspin against the Pro V1's 7,245. The Costco ball generated more greenside spin than the most recognized premium ball in the world. Multiple tour caddies reported testing Kirkland balls during practice rounds in the 2016 to 2018 period. The construction consistency of early versions was flagged as a limitation for tour-level play where ball-to-ball uniformity is critical. The 2025 Performance Plus has addressed those manufacturing issues. The industry that tried to legally remove this ball from the market in 2016 is watching it outperform tour balls on greenside spin in 2025 robot testing. Titleist Tour. Soft. The ball. Titleist doesn't want you to choose. This one is not a competitor brand. It is a Titleist ball, and it quietly outperforms its own more expensive siblings in categories that matter for the average golfer. In the 2025 MyGolf Spy ball test, the Titleist Tour Soft led the iron spin category for moderate swing speeds across the entire 62 ball test field. It retails at $34 a dozen, which is $21 less than the Pro V1. Multiple tour caddies have been documented using the Tour Soft for their own games on practice days. Titleist would prefer you bought the Pro V1. The margin on the Pro V1 versus the Tour Soft is significant. But Titleist's own product line contains a ball that for golfers swinging between 85 and 96 miles per hour matches or exceeds the Pro V1 in the categories that cost most amateurs actual strokes, iron spin, and scoring club control. At 2/3 of the price, that is not a fact the Pro Shop counter volunteers. PXG Xtreme Tour X. PXG built its brand on charging more than anyone else. Their clubs start where other brands' most expensive clubs end. The Xtreme Tour X golf ball follows a different logic entirely. The 2025 MyGolf Spy test identified the PXG Xtreme Tour X as one of the best value urethane options in the entire field, delivering strong driver distance, meaningful wedge spin, and a short game performance profile that competed with balls costing significantly more. It sits in the same performance tier as the Maxfli Tour X and Chrome Tour X in the independent data, while undercutting the premium Titleist and TaylorMade Tour offerings on price. PXG's aggressive entry into the ball market has not been accompanied by a tour sponsorship strategy. The Xtreme Tour X competes on data alone. Players who find it tend to find it during practice week testing. The ones under contract quietly put it back in the bag come tournament day. Prior generation tour balls, the industry's worst kept secret. The final entry is not a brand, it is a behavior that MyGolf Spy confirmed in their 2025 ball test FAQ. Some tour professionals play prior generation balls that were once the standard retail option but have been superseded by newer models. The manufacturer wants them playing the current retail ball. In practice, some players prefer the flight characteristics, spin profile, or feel of a model no longer available at retail. They maintain private stashes of prior generation product and continue using it in competition. The ball you see on the tour broadcast every Sunday is not necessarily the ball the tour player prefers. It is the ball the contract requires them to play and be seen playing, the preference, the practice round testing, the private supply of discontinued models. That is the conversation the industry's sponsorship system is specifically designed to prevent becoming public. The logo on the ball is not the performance, it is the advertising budget. The performance data has always been available. Which ball are you actually playing? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe. We go where the industry prefers you never look.